Welcome to the Lifelong Rivals Sports Podcast. I'm Zach Kaufman here with Ryan D'Amico.
Actually, you know what? One thing that did come to my mind. I think you actually might have alluded to it earlier in one of our podcasts. And it's something that we had in common when we were younger, when we were in elementary school, and we both were pretty serious in. And it's funny because I actually not too long ago went back and looked through a lot of my old ones, and it brings back a lot of memories. And that's football cards.
I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah, football cards, or even just sports cards, because I didn't just collect strictly football cards, which football cards was my most collected sport, but I also collected, when I was very young, hockey cards. I have a big Flyers collection. I did baseball for a little bit. Didn't ever collect basketball cards, but I did do those other three sports. So yeah, man, it's funny because I was actually looking through some of my old cards, and just to look through some of your old cards and just to see some some names. Like, I'll never forget, one Christmas my parents got me a box of cards, like a set, like a box, where I think maybe it had 10 or 12 packs in there, and you were guaranteed, I remember, 2 jersey cards. And the one jersey card I got, remember this guy? Do you remember this guy? Peerless Price. Do you remember him?
Yes, on the Bills.
Yes.
First round pick. I'm almost positive first.
Yep.
But yeah, I know he was a high receiver there.
Yeah, he was on the Bills, and that was the jersey card I got. And it's funny because I was actually looking through that, and it jumped out, and I just laughed out loud, Peerless Price. Just some of these guys you forget until you look through these cards, and it brings back your memories. Another card and another guy that I'm glad he's having this good of a season. I hope it continues, and that's Alex Smith. I actually have his autographed rookie card. Nice. And I would like for him to continue to have this good year and maybe drive that value a little bit. But any cards to you, or anything that stood out to you? When you were younger and you were collecting cards?
That's actually, it's funny that you bring that up. I could, as you were going through that, the Peerless Price card, I have the exact images of certain cards like that just pop into my head right away, whether I pulled from a pack, which was the most exciting thing as a young kid.
Yes.
So I remember my grandma would always buy me cards and boxes and things like that, and just opening pack after pack and just finding those. I remember when I was young, I got a Keyshawn Johnson rookie card.
Nice.
And I was so hype about that. He was a first round pick. He had some really good seasons there. When you were saying about a jersey card, I remember I got a real sweet, I forget if it was a jersey card or a jersey autograph card, but it was numbered, there were only 50 produced or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was Maurice Morris, rookie jersey card. He's a Seahawks running back. So I remember, I hoped he'd be good for a long time.
Right.
I had a lot of cards there. When I actually moved out of my parents' house after college, that's one of the things I ended up selling off. So I went back through them.
Oh, did you?
At first, I sectioned off some of the good ones and sold them for more money, and then sold a good chunk of the rest of the collection. I still have some kind of displayed in my bedroom that were some of the cool ones, or some of the Dallas Cowboys ones. I have a Ray Allen All-Star jersey card that's one of my favorites I ever had. That one was
really cool. What team was he on at that point?
I want to say he was on the Sonics at that point.
Sonics? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a really cool card.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I really like that one. I'm trying to think because there were so many. I remember with you in I think it was 2nd or 3rd grade, that we'd bring our cards to lunch. We'd trade them at recess or at lunch. And it was a great thing because for me, I collected basketball and football cards. And there were other guys. I know you said about hockey. So if somehow I came across some hockey cards, I knew I could flip them to you. I had another friend who was a Vikings fan, I knew if I got Randy Moss or Chris Carter cards, I could flip them to him for Cowboys cards or basketball cards. And it was great. It was like the start of me kind of loving a hustle and a business. And I was always like flipping and buying and selling cards, even at a young age in the elementary school there.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my like fonder memories of childhood is going to it was I'll never forget it. The store was called BC Sports. It standed for Brandywine Collectibles. It was down at my dad's in Delaware, and I would pester him. Like I would pester him as soon as I got to his house, like, hey, like we're gonna go to BC Sports tomorrow, right? And he'd always be like, yes, we'll go. And like I would always get a few packs of cards. And you're right, like just that moment from when you pick them out, when you decide of which pack you're going to get, because there's obviously tons. I mean, there's Topps, there was Fleer, there was a lot of different brands of cards. So you pick out which kind you want, and then that moment of like opening them, and then you have the stack there, and you go one by one, and you shuffle them, and you're like, oh, okay, oh wow, sweet. Like it's just that like random that unknown, that ultimate unknown, and it's just really cool. Like I remember, I forget the name. I think they were Topps. I can't remember off the top of my head the name of the set, but they looked like a painting, like an oil painting. It was a really cool look. It was a really cool set. It was a really cool looking set. And for the longest time, I tried to get that set. And I was really close to getting that set. I think I may only need like 7 or 8 more cards to complete that set. It was back when, like, I remember one of the Eagles players, because each team they released like 3 or 4 players. And I remember the Eagles players were Donovan McNabb, Deuce Staley, Brian Dawkins. You wonder who the 4th guy was? The most like random person. Like I got him. I'm like, why the hell would they put him in this set? Antonio Freeman, when he played for the Eagles for like that 1 year.
What?
Yeah, they put him in there. I'm like, why is he in here?
I would not have seen. I remember having like pages of Antonio Freeman cards because he was a great receiver there on the Packers.
Very good. Yeah, and it was just like, what is this? Like, why is he in this set? But yeah, it was yeah, man, that was like you said, I remember when we were younger in elementary school, I remember bringing them in and trading and I like, it's funny, like I don't know why, like I remember getting this one hockey card. He was a player. He got traded from the Tampa Bay Lightning to the Flyers, and I think it might have been one of our friends, Dane or someone else, that had this player's card for the Lightning, and I traded for him, and I got him, and I was like, oh my, like I was so happy. Like I remember his name too. Chris Gratton was his name, and I was so hyped to get that card. And it's just funny how, like, looking back, how just simpler things were back then. Like you get hype over a piece of cardboard with a player on it.
It was amazing because I remember my mom always gave me a hard time because I would spend like hours in my room organizing them, like figuring out what I was.
Did you have like the books and the sleeves, right?
Yeah, because I'd have specific books of like my high-end football cards, my like high-end basketball cards, my like tradable football cards that I wanted to trade. That's awesome. My same thing, like I had a book for just rookie cards. Like I remember when I'd open packs, I'd separate them and then like organize them best to worst, and like, this guy's gonna be great. I have no idea who this guy is way in the back.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, man, that was some good times, man. That definitely was. That was good discussion, man. That was really good discussion. Definitely something we both. I mean, the name of the podcast is Lifelong Rivals, but that's definitely something we weren't rivals of. That's something we definitely something we shared ever since we were little kids. So definitely a fun time there with the trading cards.
Definitely some great memories with that. I'm glad you brought up that topic. That was a fun little conversation.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Yeah, I don't have anything else though. it's going to be cool. We're going to experiment this week with a different format. Going to try and split it up. I believe you said shorten it to a couple different segments, which I think will work a little better. We're still new at this. We're still trying to find the best way to get it out there to everyone. It'll still be on YouTube. It'll still be on iTunes, all that good stuff. But I think that'll work a little better. So like, share, comment, give us compliments, talk shit. I don't care what you say. Just give some feedback. So, appreciate everyone listening, and, we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much for listening to the Lifelong Rivals Sports Podcast. We really appreciate it. We've changed some things up based on some of the feedback we've received, so we'd love to continue hearing your feedback. As we continue to build this platform with our podcast, it's very helpful to us if you can share it with the people you know that you think would be interested. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and have a great week.